Peace and security, managing conflict and violence in a turbulent world. All mankind alike envisioned a world in which the government's laws and social conditions are perfect.
As each culture unite on a common ground of peace and safety.
The entire world is connected by this journey.
For the search of this elusive utopia that our government speaks of in the Declaration of Independence.
This pursuit of happiness is etched in every facet of human history. 18th century marked the widespread of revolutions. Europe saw the rise of Louis Napoleon. England fought the inequalities of industrialization. And America engaged in its own private war.
In this changing world, people relied on the physical, psychological, empirical, and scientific ideology as a way of understanding nature and human behavior. French philosopher Auguste Clemente called this new way of thinking positivism. In efforts to achieve peace and security, artists depicted the realities of the modern world. Through his utilitarian efforts, Gustave Courbet called for peace and security for all. Early Ornans challenged social norms and traditions with his massive size and scene of middle-class citizens at graveside. His profound statement was liberty for all. As the search for the ultimate life continued, progress brought change in this new modern world. In Europe, artists sought out to document this transformation.
Realism evolved into Impressionism. Claude Monet, a leader in developing Impressionism, in his paintings on the banks of Seine Benaucourt, he aimed to capture the colors as they reflected in the sunlight, with the use of short, rapid brushstrokes. This painting captures the essence of peace and serenity that the world imagined. Towards the end of the 19th century, progress in the form of science was found in economic growth, nationalism, capitalism, and imperialism. German psychologist Ian Pavlov redefined psychology from a philosophy to a scientific method. Sigmund Freud took scientific steps to explain the human unconsciousness. The pursuit of happiness also sparked the art world.
Post-Impressionists turned towards an individualistic way of thinking. They did not like the group practices of conformity. They all wanted to add their own ideas. In George Stewart's painting, A Sunday Afternoon, he wanted to use color to create harmony and emotions, thus expressing his meaning of peace and security.
French artist Paul Gauguin's quest for peace took him to the Caribbean island and developed symbolism, which defines the images that are based on imagination and the use of bright colors to evoke emotions.
Paul's Where Are We Going represents our search for something we once had in a romantic way of life was utopia, but our quest for a better life has the world lost.
Empowered by a quest for a better life, modernism in the early 20th century found scientific discoveries and a collective way of thinking.
Henry Bergson theorized that mankind formed ideas that at best can be called intuitions.
Henri Matisse transformed his studio into a lab experimenting with color.
In The Woman with the Hat, the color combinations were unique and wild, thus the movement being called Fauvism.
Fauvism evolved and passed on to the German artists in the form of German Expressionism.
In Composition 7, Bassett Condition used bright colors from Fauvism to install emotion, feeling, and a state of mind. He feels that we have a cosmic power within.
American artists also used abstract art in the form of modernism. Arthur Dove's plant form conveyed the universal connectedness of all things.
The same science that was used for a better world also developed weapons of mass destruction. Many artists felt that the war was senseless and used their voice to restore order. The Dada movement spoke out against the war. In Hannah's House collage, she expressed war is senseless.
Dada quickly transformed into surrealism. People wanted to escape this turbulent world.
Artists expressed desires of a better world because the world was a nightmare. Rene Margetti's The False Mirror suggests the unconscious perceives the reality of things that the eye only absorbs the visual but not the real world. In The False Mirror, the eye sees the world that we will only live in our dreams.
War shattered man's faith in the logic of science and the concept of progress. People questioned the possibility of a perfect society. Abstract artist Jackson Pollock focused on uncovering the universal truth.
Autumn rhythm is a metaphor for human conditions and the risk inherent in taking responsibility for one's actions.
History has documented mankind's ongoing pursuit that connects all of us. It is our responsibility to take collaborative efforts to make sure the journey is peaceful and safe.